Okay, so in this video, I want to give you like an overview using my fancy map here of what's going on in the funnel. Now, this is the basics of it. It is actually even more complicated than this in the background, but thankfully, that's what you paid for. You don't need to worry about everything that's going on to make this happen, but this is fundamentally what is happening. So you've got your main registration webinar page that I've shown you in a previous video. And then you've got your waiting page that people go through to. And then they'll either go through to watch the live webinar because that waiting page automatically redirects them, or they won't. And if they don't, then that is when we put them into this missed webinar sequence. And then each one of those emails in the sequence is driving them to go and watch the replay, which is just down here. You can see webinar replay. That's another page. So all of these rectangular boxes are pages. And then if they watch the webinar all the way through and literally watch your offer and everything, then they'll go into this sequence here, the watched all sequence. And then again, all of these emails will be aiming to drive them up here to that checkout process to actually buy what it is you're selling on your webinar. And then in this situation here where they leave early, they actually leave just before you actually start talking about your course or your product service that you're selling, then they'll get dropped into this left early sequence, which is just going to drive them to this page, which has nothing but your webinar offer on there. So that's the three sequences. And then, of course, if they do check out, wonderful, they go through to the thank you page and then they automatically will have course access emailed to them. But if they go to the checkout and they don't buy, then they'll get dropped into your cart abandonment sequence, which is also included with this funnel. So that's the basics of it. And hopefully looking at this, you can see, how effective it can be if you just start pouring traffic into here, into this registration page, how the funnel will do so much of the work for you. Because our ultimate goal is to get them to sit down and watch that webinar all the way through, see your offer, make a decision, and that decision hopefully will be to go to the checkout and buy it. Now, what you can't see, so this is what you can see. What you can't see, other things that are happening here is that, again, if they go to this replay, but they leave early, then they'll be sent up to here to this left early sequence. But I just didn't want to, go and add even more lines to this chart to make it more mad. And then if they watch the webinar offer, that's fine. That will go through to there. But also there is the questionnaire that they're sent. If they go through to this one here, the watched sequence, or the left early sequence, we'll leave it a few days and then we'll ask them, why didn't you buy? And then hopefully they'll go to the page, which enables them to type out their reason and then submit it, and you get that. But I didn't want to put that on here as well, otherwise it'll just be pretty insane. But maybe I'll add it later. But so there we are. Hopefully that gives you like an even better overview of what the funnel does. The way that we move people from these sequences like this. So, what happens if somebody goes into this missed sequence, but on the very first email, they decide to go and watch that replay. We don't want to keep emailing them saying, hey, you missed the webinar, like in 2 and 3 here. So you're automatically going to have them pulled out of there, and then they'll go into the watched sequence. But if they watch that replay and they don't watch all of it and see your offer again, we're going to put them up here and into this left early sequence. So what happens is much the same as what's going on up here. But again, for the sake of the chart being like mad and you wouldn't even be able to understand it, I haven't included that in. But all of that automation is all done for you as part of getting this funnel. So you don't need to worry. What you need to do is edit the pages, the registration, waiting, webinar, checkout, thank you, webinar replay and webinar offer with your branding, your wording, and then the same for these emails. But all of the complex stuff has been done. So hopefully that's made things a little clearer for you. And if you've got any questions, as usual, just ask me beneath this video.